Heyo Goober Gang, we have pointed the truck north and we are headed up 95. We have about 1,000 miles to cover in the next 24 hours and we have a couple tasks to accomplish along the way. As you can see, we are loaded down in the back. We've got a good place to sleep. We're gonna have to pass out at some point during this trip. Not sure if I'm gonna make it quite to New York, as I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning to hit the water, but we're gonna get as far as we can and get some food in us tonight and finish up the drive in the morning if we have to. So let's get on with it. We'll show you the first stop when we get there. All right, stop number 1 is complete. The gentleman I stopped and met did not want to be on camera, so I respected that. Sold a little outboard. Had bought a 15 horsepower Yamaha outboard for a little john boat that I had. Immediately found the 25 horsepower I was looking for, so that kind of stunk, but got rid of that now. Still moving north. We've got a stop at a store tonight. I got to make sure I get in there before they close, and we've got a long way to go north. We're rolling up to Lowe's here. Got to pick up a little bit of hardware. You'll see why tomorrow morning. All right, so we got the hardware plans coming together. We are about 200 miles into the road trip so far. Got, only a smooth 800 to go. We're gonna try and get a little bit more of this trip done tonight. Not gonna make it all the way up there tonight. Still have about 300 miles to go. We're gonna try and do a good chunk of that here tonight. I'm gonna pop a little caffeine in here, get a little bit of food to eat, and then pass out at a reasonable hour, somewhere around midnight. Sleep for a couple hours, wake up, finish the drive tomorrow. Let's go find some food. All right, can I do a quarter pounder with cheese and an Oreo milkshake, or just a chocolate milkshake? Don't judge me. It's been a long day.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Into the digital realm. Her digital artworks became the talk of the town, and she
So that's gonna have to self-inflate. We're probably down to our last 30 minutes of driving or so. So as we cruise down the road with a fresh tank of gas, I'm gonna let that blow up. That way, by the time we're ready to go to sleep, it's ready to rock and roll. Let's get a little bit further down the road, and then it's gonna be time to crash. We have made it all the way up to New York. It has been a long day. We've got an hour and 45 minutes left to do in the morning, but it's a little bit after 1 o'clock in the morning. We are shutting it down. Pulled up to a rest station over here in New York. I'm gonna catch a couple hours of sleep, hop in the back of the truck, and pass out. That right there is going to be the setup for the night. We got the cot bed, got the blow-up mattress with foam inside. That makes all the difference in the world. Sleeping bag, pillows, blanket. I'm ready to get some shut-eye. We will see you guys in the morning. All right, we are back. A little groggy, only because I only got about 5 or 6 hours of sleep, but it was really good sleep. This mattress pad was a fantastic investment. I'll leave a link down in the description if you want to check it out, but it is ridiculously comfortable. Let's get back in the driver's seat, finish up this drive here, find some breakfast along the way. This right here is the kind of restaurant you just know is going to be good. Well guys, here we are. We made it. 491 miles at 23.4 miles per gallon. On the way home, our gas mileage might be a little different. I'm gonna give you a sneak preview, see if you can guess what we're picking up here. I fooled you, it's a boat. Now I know what you're thinking, we're here for the boat, show me the boat. You're gonna have to wait. I've gotta haul my butt 500 miles down the road back to Virginia. We'll give you a little sneak peek right here, a little teaser if you will. Alright, that's all you're getting for now. We got to get back to the house, start rigging this bad boy up so we can get on the water this week. I have a lot of plans for this boat. I've got some rigging videos I want to do on it, show you how I'm going to set it up. We're going to keep it pretty bare bones. I want to do a little bit more running around, maybe some traveling, fishing different bodies of water, some lakes, some other rivers. So if you have any ideas, suggestions, things around Richmond, Virginia within a couple-hour drive, drop them down in the comments. We'll start considering places to start traveling to. I really want to get this thing out in the saltwater, do some inshore fishing, start picking apart some other species that I've never caught before. Can't wait to get this thing home, get it rigged up. Hope you like time lapses, because here comes another one. Thanks a lot, DC. Made it back to Richmond. Check it out. 491 miles, 20 miles of the gallon. And that right there is really the whole reason for picking this boat up. I wanted something I could run around with, go visit some places, do some more exploring, instead of dragging the big boat around all the time. Still need that for the guide trips. Still want to go out and have some comforts, like the enclosure and everything like that. But why not do a little running around, do some fun fishing, salt water, whatever. Lots of adventures planned. Let me get this thing in the driveway and I'll show you what it's all about. Hey, yo Goobers, check it out. We got the boat at home. We're ready to start working on it. The goal with this boat right now is to get it up and running as fast as possible. We got a couple parts in the mail coming from Amazon. We got a bunch that have already arrived. We have plans to do a lot to this boat down the road, but for now, we want to keep it simple and get it up and running. Over time, we'll add videos, add to the series. We'll make a whole playlist of everything we're going to do to this boat. So we're going to call it the River Sled, or if you have a better name, drop it down in the comments below. And we'll name this boat, we'll build it out, I'll take you along on the journey, and I'll show you how I like to set up boats. This is about the 4th or 5th boat that I've gone through, torn it apart, and that's actually what we're going to do today. Tear everything out, see what some of the problems are, see what we have to overcome to get it on the water, ready to go catch some fish. Right off the bat, as a cat fisherman, we need to be able to get rod holders in this boat. Luckily, it's got the nice track system. However, if you look up close here, you can see that wires have been run inside that track system and the previous user caulked it to keep those wires from coming out. So we've got to strip all that wire out. We've got to probably chip away at some caulk, maybe heat it up, peel it out, do whatever we got to do. We need to get that whole track accessible and then we'll go from there. So I got a couple screwdrivers and a couple razor blades here. I'm going to go down and score all that caulk in here to help me get it out a little bit easier. I'm not going to be using any of this wire that's in here, so I don't really care if I nick it or not. We're going to go down the bottom edge, just break it free from the aluminum track. We're going to do the same thing along the top edge. Now hopefully we can just take this thing and rip it right out. Some pliers are going to help us out here in the spot where we're getting stuck. Just going to try and ease it out so as much of that comes out as possible. Looks like the housing of that wire is really getting stuck in there. There we go. Try and grab a hold of that whole thing and pull it out. There we go. This is almost as satisfying as watching Dr. Pimple Popper. Now we're running into a situation where the caulk is really in the track, so we're going to put the needle nose pliers to the test, try and pull that out. They're actually working pretty well. This boat's going to need a big vacuum after we get all this crap out. This caulk was a great idea to keep the wire in, but certainly is not helping the next guy down the road who wants to use the track the way it was intended. We'll use a little screwdriver to get all the stuff that's down in the track. Just try and pry it away and then we'll pull it out. We've got to do that all the way around the boat, so I'm not going to bore you with that. We'll come back to you in a little bit. Well guys, that was about a 2-hour long process, but we finally got to the point where we can get a T-bolt down the track. Not the smoothest thing in the world. It might loosen up over time. What I found to be the most effective was hit it with the torch and pry in there with a screwdriver, try and peel it all out the best you can, and just keep rinsing and repeating. That torch loosened it up, burned away a lot of the pieces, and it just gets smoother and smoother as you go. So I might have to keep doing that over time, but at least for now I can get some stuff mounted on these tracks. We're not going to do that tonight. We've got some other work to do. We've got a fish finder back here we've got to rip out, along with the rest of the electronics back here. I'm taking every wire out of this boat and completely running my own, just so I know I can trust it and it's set up the way that I want it. I've got a little fuse panel back here with some switches on it. So we're gonna pop that off, see what's going on, if we can get it off. And this, guys, is why you always do your wiring yourself. This is all corroded, rusted, because some of this is wired together. It's just a complete disaster back here. We're gonna clean this all up and make it nice and neat. Now this wire strand over here, if we look off to the side, there's a strip of lights underneath the gunnel here. We're gonna peel that off. It's pretty cool light strip, and it lights up the deck pretty nice. We'll replace it at some point, but this one's all nasty. It runs all the way up here to the front of the boat. And just like that, we're down to a blank canvas. It's completely up to us how this wiring goes from here on out, which is exactly how I like it. Well, it looks like I spoke too soon. I forgot about the transducer cable back here. They screw this right into the hull of the boat, which I recommend never doing. There are better ways to do this so you don't have to put a hole in the transom here. So we're gonna pop those out. Here's how I recommend mounting a transducer. Okay, we're gonna sand all that off. We're gonna fill in those holes with some 3M marine adhesive. Make sure we cover up those holes really well. And then I'm gonna take a block. This is PVC board. It's never gonna rot. I'm gonna cover this really well in the marine adhesive all the way to the edges. We don't want any water getting behind that, especially with holes in our transom back there. And then we're gonna take this and drop it right here. Now we're gonna glue that on. It's gonna be a permanent block, and you mount your transducer to that with screws that are not gonna go into the transom. So now I'm not worried about this leaking anywhere, but you see it does slide a little bit. You're gonna have to find something to prop it up with. So here's how that block turned out. I let it set up for about 24 hours and it's getting pretty firm. There's still a little bit of squishiness to it, so the longer that sets up, the better it's gonna be. I'm gonna hold off mounting a fish finder to that for a while. It's gonna be one of the last things I do. We're gonna keep this boat basic for a while. Tune into our next video. We'll show you how we're gonna install some rod holders on the track.